Hi, I'm Alex from IGN, and we're going to take the very first look at The Escapists, The Walking Dead, and I'm joined by Grant, the lead designer, and Adam, the producer. Now, Grant, we're going to go straight into the game, and the very first mission is...
The first mission is the location of the Harrison Memorial Hospital. Now, this is very much a tutorial level.
So you obviously play Rick Grimes, the badass cop, who finds himself, well, screwed up at the beginning of the comic, and assumingly at the beginning of this game.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a mess,
to
say the least. He's got no idea of what's gone on, and he's woke up in his little smock. And
no one wants to face the undead in one of those hospital gowns with their backside hanging out.
How embarrassing.
So I think one of the things to kind of point out right at the very beginning is say, yes, it is a Walking Dead game, but it's still first and foremost an Escapist game.
That's correct, yes. What Team 17 have been developing here is essentially a hybrid. All the Escapists sort of core functionality in there, all the crafting, all the exploration, that's kind of all there. We've still got that winning formula. Yeah.
So yeah, you mentioned crafting, and here we see an example of that. He's taken a pillowcase and a bar of soap. Now, what would you do with a pillowcase and a bar of soap?
I'd seamlessly craft them together.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
So this is your kind of makeshift kosh that presumably you're going to use a little bit later on the level.
That's right, yeah. The first thing obviously that we're doing here is just familiarising the player with a bit of crafting, little bit of exploration.
There's lots of blood spattered around anyway. He's probably panicking a little bit.
Yeah, he's probably a bit concerned within his current location.
But it's okay. He's got a pillowcase.
The main thing is he's got a pillowcase, yeah.
So the first walker we see in the game.
He's quick, isn't he?
He's very quick.
He's annoyed.
So one thing that also demonstrates is that you've refined the combat from the Escapists.
Yes, that's right. The combat in the Escapists did confuse a lot of people. Before, you pretty much just activated combat. The system then went into a fully automated sort of punch-up until there was a victor. Whereas now, you're fully in control of that and the attacks that you can do. So as a quick example, you just saw there that Adam had quite a fast attack rate, but yeah, if you were to use an item such as a big cumbersome sort of hammer, it would deliver more damage, but on the downside of that, of course, you wouldn't be able to repeat attack as quick. Yeah.
Gotcha. So another feature that anyone who's played the original game will be familiar with is, as you mentioned earlier, different ways of navigating the levels, going up into vents, digging holes into the ground. That's
right, yeah. Again, just something to encourage the player and remind them, give them hints really of there's more than one way to skin a cat, you know? It's not just going through the main doors, all guns blazing, that would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
You know, go and have a look again, what's in that room there. Oh look, I can see that there's a vent system. Need something, I'll go through there. I can sort of get around much more discreetly.
Yeah.
And you might even find some, nice little collectibles in there.
So this looks like the first big challenge, a room full of a lot of zombies.
It's quite a lot,
shall we? So you're not going to take these guys on with a pillow and some soap. So yeah, the sensible thing is to run.
Yeah.
And not get caught in that corner. So he escaped there, and then also we're seeing for the first time ranged weapons, pistols.
That's right, yeah. So Rick's got himself a pistol that he's found next to that corpse. There's an undead walker out here that I think Adam is going to demo taking out.
So it's also aim, very simple.
That's right, yeah. It's aim and shoot.
So one of the other things that was big in the original game was obviously finding items which you could then craft and make stuff out of. Now we're not seeing that much of it here because the tutorial, but that's going to be a big part of the final game.
Yes. You will find areas such as armories, so then within that might be able to find something a bit more meaty in terms of the guns, so potentially shotguns, rifles, that kind of thing. Effectively what we're trying to bring into the actual game itself is using different weapons for different circumstances. So yeah, you need to be quite careful and cunning really, quite conniving in using the more sort of hands-on melee weapons for picking off little pockets of the undead. But yes, in some circumstances you will have to resort to gunfight.
So obviously, one of the big things of the Escapists was not only this kind of stuff, but also the daily tasks and doing jobs, just survival.
Within each of the further levels that we have in the game, you will be with a band of survivors. These will be characters from within the comics.
Yeah.
And each of their sort of personas will be kind of reliant really on how well you react around those and help them with their daily tasks. You need to sort of make sure that this is sorted over here. If you're going for an exploration, keep an eye on the clock, make sure you can get back to do your head counts and keep the morale up within the group and things like that.
So drawing on a lot of the stuff that people who love the comics are going to love in this game. So that is your very first look at the Escapists Walking Dead. We're going to see more of this at Comic-Con in the next couple of weeks. And for everything the Escapists Walking Dead, keep it locked right here on IGN.